Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, you're very much welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always clicking on my video, for always watching, for always liking, commenting. Thank you so much. So in today's video, I'll be teaching us how to make this beautiful Ankara dress. So without wasting much time, let's dive right into the video. Welcome back guys. So for this video not to be super long, I've drafted the upper part of this dress in my previous video. I will link it in the description box so you can just check it out. So this is the lower part of the dress I'll be drafting. So I measured 12 inches right here, then I will add half inches at the upper part. So this is the 12 inches and I will add half inches at the upper part there. So I'm not adding any seam allowance to the lower part because when I'm cutting the fabric, I will just add this directly. So now from my waistline, I will measure my hip line. So your hip line may differ, but mine is 9 inches. So it may differ. You also know your hip line, your hip length. So now after that, the remaining 3 inches at the lower part is for the V part of the dress. So I'll measure my waist at my waistline, add my dart allowance and my seam allowance. So my dart allowance is 1 inches and my seam allowance is 1.5 inches. So now I'll measure my hip measurements here. As you all know, it will be divided by 4. Then I'll add my seam allowance 1.5 there. So now for the lower part, I won't be adding anything. So I'll just connect the lines like that with my French curve. So I'm connecting this with my French curve like that. Then I'll connect that point to the end at this part, just the way I'm doing. Just connect it down like that. So I'm just using my marker to roll it out so that I can see, so that you can see it clearly. Yeah, so this is what we have. So the next thing I'll be doing is to mark my dart allowance. So your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, then you add half inch to it. So but for my measurement during the drafting of my upper part, my nipple to nipple measurement changes. So instead of 3.5, I have 3. So I'll be using 3 plus half inches. So that's 3.5. So that's why I'm cutting it. So whenever I draft my bustier, my nipple to nipple measurement at the front always reduced by half inch. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So if you don't understand, just let me know in the comment section so I can explain better. So this is the dart I have over here. So I won't be cutting out the dart. I will just be transferring to my fabric whenever I cut. So I'm just cutting out my pattern, and I'll be using this pattern to cut the back piece. So I'll just go ahead and cut the back piece by adding my zip allowance. So this is what I have for the back piece after adding 1 inch for the zip allowance at the back. So this is what I have. So now for the dart of the back piece is always my original nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2 plus half inch. You know, I said the front used to reduce by half, so this one is the original measurement. That is, my nipple to nipple measurement is 7. So for the front I use 6. So 6 divided by 2, which is 3 plus half inch, that's 3.5. But for the back, my nipple to nipple measurement is 7. So 7 divided by 2, that's 3.5 plus half inch, that's 4. So that's the only difference between the back and the front, and this is because of the bustier, and it is because I want the front bodice, the bustier of the front, to match with the lower part. That's why I'm using it. So if I don't mind the matching, I can just use the same for the front and back. So I've just added half inch, you know, for the dart, and I'm just labeling back and front. So please, if you don't understand any part of this video, just let me know in the comment section. I'll be glad to reply you as soon as possible. So these are my patterns, and I've cut out my fabric and my lining for everything. So this is the front bodies. As I've said earlier, if you haven't seen the video, just check out my latest video, and I'll put the link in the description box so you don't have to worry, you don't have to search around. So I've added my seam allowance to the part where I did not add the seam allowance during the drafting. So for the lower part of this pattern, I added seam allowance. So so I won't be adding seam allowance to the part. So this is the back bodice of the upper part, and I've added my lining. I've cut out my lining and the fabric, and I also added the seam allowance over there, and I don't need to add at the lower part. So this is the front bodice we just drafted. As you see, I've added the seam allowance at the lower part there, so I'll be transferring just the dart. That's the only thing I'll be doing. So this is the back bodice. I've also added the seam allowance. So this is my sleeve. I've drafted this pattern of the sleeve in my previous video. The link will also be in my description box, so you can check and to know how I drafted it. So I just added ½ inch. So I just added ½ inch, and I'll be folding that upper part. That's why I just extended it up there. So this is my net. I'll measure 19 inches based on your measurement, so you just have to know your measurement. So this is the tiny piece at the front bodice. So this is what I have. So this is my front bodice after adding my paper stay to it. So this is what I have after adding my paper stay to it. So now what I will do now is just to join it together. So I'll just be joining it together just like that. The front, yeah, the front bodice, and I'll also be joining the lining too separately. I'll be joining the lining. So after joining, this is what I have. This is what I have after joining. So I'll just go ahead and notch this part for the bust to come out well. I'll just notch this part over there. I'll do the same for the other side, just to notch, so that when I'm ironing, it will come out very well and it won't fold inside. As you can see, it is looking really nice. Like even before ironing, as you can see, the bust shape is out already. Even before ironing, the shape is coming out already. So this is the lining. This is the lining. I'll also do the same thing for the lining. I will also notch it just like that, and I'll also do the same for the other side. Please, if you haven't give this video a thumbs up, can you just do that now, please? It really goes a long way. The thumbs up goes a very long way. Thank you so much. And you can also drop a lovely comment if you haven't dropped a comment yet. Thank you so much. So this is the tiny net I cut out for the neck. So I'll just go ahead and join the neck at the upper part over there. Like I'll just sew the net together, like just to join it like that. Then after joining, I'm trimming out the excess net I have. The excess net that I have, I'll just be trimming it out, and I'll be notching it so that you know it's a U, so it can turn well. So I'll still cut it out because the joining is still showing, like the excess net there is still showing. So I'll just reduce it so it won't show. So this is what I have. Then I will join it to this part. This part is very tricky, so you just have to be careful. So the end point of this net and the end point of that neck, you just pin it with an ½ inch. So, and what I do most time is just to cut this neckline. I'll just cut it down by half. At that V pointed part, I'll just go down and cut by half, so that I can join to the side. I can join it side by side. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I'll just notch that V line. You know, it has a pointed mouth. I'll just go down by ½ inch and I'll notch it. Then I'll pin the whatever I want to pin there. Then I'll slant it like that. So I'll sew the first side like this. I'll sew the first side just like this. So after sewing now, you see that there's an opening. So this is what I'm saying. Just go down by ½ inch. Just by ½ inch, not more than ½ inch, because it will affect. So now turn to the other side. I'll turn it to the other side just like this. As you can see, the notching has expanded the V. It has made the points to open. So you see, I can slant it just like that and sew this other part. I don't know if you understand, but that's how I can really explain what I'm doing. So you just have to be careful with the sewing, so you don't sew on each other. You don't you don't sew the fabric while folded together. So now I'll do this other side just like this, just to join it. This part is the most tricky part of this dress. So just like that, I'll just fold it, then I'll pin. You have to pin so that you don't do double work. If not even triple. So I'll just pin to the end like that, and I'll just sew. So after sewing, this is what it looks like. So it is already out nice, even without ironing. It is nice. So now the next thing is to fix my lining with it. So I'll place the lining at the front, right side facing each other as usual. Then you fix this also. You can also notch the lining too, so that it can open up at the end over there. So you sew like that, and you sew the other side too. You sew down there. Then after that, you turn like that. Then you sew too. So after sewing, this is what I have, and I've not even ironed it yet, but this is what I have after sewing. So I'll just go ahead and iron. So this is my back bodice. This is the back bodice I have. I'll just be joining the back bodice, just the normal way of joining, and I've transferred my dart to it. I've transferred my dart. So this is what I have. I'll just be sewing the neck and the side. So before sewing the neck, I'll just go ahead and do my darts on my dart. So this is the front bodice. This is the front bodice. This is the front bodice. So I've ironed it. As you can see, it is looking really nice. It is looking nice. So this is what it looks like. So what I'll just do now is to cut out my excess armhole. The next thing to do is to cut out my excess armhole. So if you watch the video of my pattern drafting, you will understand this excess armhole. So if you haven't seen the video, I will link it in the description box. Please just go ahead and watch it so that you will understand. So I didn't add this to this video because I don't want this video to be super long. So this is the lower part bodice, and I've transferred my dart. Have I transferred my dart? No, I haven't transferred the dart for this, but I've transferred the dart for the back. So I'll be transferring the dart now, so you can understand the way I transfer my dart. So I'll place the body and the pattern paper on the fabric, and the midpoint of this dart, I'll just notch it. Then I will note the length of the dart. So I'll just go ahead and sew with whatever measurement I use as the dart over on the pattern. So I'll just transfer it to the front. So I'll just go ahead and do the dart for all the fabric, and I'll be back. So this is all the darts. This is everything. And so this is the front and this is the back. So this is the front bodies, and I'll just be notching the midpoint here. And for the front and the back, I'll be notching the midpoint, so that I will join it to the front bodies. So I'll also notch for the upper front bodies too, so that everything can meet each other at the right point. So I'll be notching it also. So now I'll be fixing the upper parts and the lower parts together, just like this. And I'll make sure that they are rhyming, like they are meeting each other at the right point. So it's very important. It's not as if you now sew a cloth that one dart will be longer than each other. It doesn't make sense like that. So I'll just be pinning it. I'll be pinning it like that, and I'll sew with 1/2 inch. And I'll also pin the lining too. I'll pin the lining too, and I'll sew with 1/2 inch. So this is the back bodies. I'll be joining the fabric first, the upper back bodies and the lower back bodies. I'll be joining it together too, just like this. So I'll also join these parts also, and I'll also join the lining too. I'll do the same for the lining. So this is the front bodies after joining the midpoints together. So the next thing I will do now is just to join the sides together, just like this. And I will be joining with 1/4 inches. And note, whatever you use to join the side, just deduct it from your seam allowance. The seam allowance we used was 1 1/2. So when I'm sewing, I'll be using 1 1/4 for the joining. So I'll also join the back bodies too, and the neck of the back bodies will be joining with 1/2 inch, but the other parts will be with 1/4 inches. So that's just what I will do, and I'll be back. So this is the front bodies after joining and after ironing. this is what I have. As you can see, even the lining that is matching. So this is what I have for the back bodice. So this is what I have for the back bodice. Yeah. So now what I'll be doing next is to join the back and the front together, and we'll be starting from the shoulder. We'll be joining the shoulder first, that is with 1/2 inches. I'll be joining it with 1/2 inches. So I'll be joining with 1/2 inches both shoulder. I'll be joining with 1/2 inches each. So this is what I have. So this is the tiny trimmings I'll be adding. If you check the style, you see there is this tiny trimmings. So what I'll be doing now is from this end point, I'll be measuring 1.5 upward, 1.5 upward, and I'll be marking it so that it can be straight, so that I can have a very straight measurement, just 1.5 inches upward. So if you haven't give this video a thumbs up, if you haven't liked the video, if you haven't commented, please just do so now. Thank you so much. So I will also be doing the same for the back also, so that it can be very straight. Then after that, I'll be fixing the trimmings on it. So the joining will start from the line upward. So I'll just join it. So this is the front bodice after joining, and this is the back bodice too after joining. So the next thing I will do now is just to join the side, and I'll make sure that the joining at the waist is matching each other, and the velvet and the trimmings I added to it is matching each other. That's very, very important. So for me to know that it is matching each other, I'll just pin at that point so that it doesn't shake whenever I'm sewing. It is very important to pin. So I'll also pin the waist too. So I'll also do the same for this other side. So just the same, I'll do the same for the other side, then I will just sew. So this is the gown after joining the side and after joining the back bodice too. So this is what I have after ironing. So the upper part is kind of ready, remaining the sleeve and the zip. So this is the net measurement, and I've added my lining to it, and I've also made the gathers to fit the length like the measurement of the lower part where I'll be joining it to. So the measurement has matched each other. So I've extended, like I've made the gathers to be perfect in a way. So as you can see, the net is longer than the lining with about 3 inches. Yeah, with about 3 inches, the net is longer than the lining. So now this is just the basic the upper bodice. So I'll just be measuring the opening, so you just know the mouth like that, the opening, so that you can know the gathers you will make, the length of the gathers you will make, in order to make the joining to be perfect. So this is the joining. This is what I have after joining the net to the upper bodice. As you can see, it is looking very, very nice. Yeah, it's looking very nice. And this is the back bodice. So the only thing remaining now is to fix my sleeve. So this is the gown. I think what next now is just to fix the zip and the sleeve. So this is the gathers of the net I'll be adding to the sleeve. So this is what I have. I'll just be placing it like this, and I'll be placing the lining on it, and I'll also be doing the same for this part. So this is what I have. So now I've cut so now I'll just put the lining on it like this, and I'll just sew. So now I'll also do the same for this sleeve. I'll also do the same thing here. Yes, and I'll place the lining on it, and I'll just sew. So this is what I have after placing the lining and after sewing. So this is what I have. So I'll just fold it like that, and I'll just join with my 1 inch seam allowance for the sleeve. So that's what I'll just do, and I'll do the same thing too for the back. Yes, I'll do the same thing too for the back. So now I'll just do the same for the second sleeve too, and I'll fold like that, and I'll just sew. So after sewing, this is what it looks like. So as you can see, I top stitch the lining so that it will not be showing when I fix the sleeve. So the next thing to do is just to fix the sleeve, and as you can see that I've already fixed one of the sleeve, so I'll just go ahead and fix the second one. So this is it after fixing the both sleeve. So after fixing both sleeves, so this is what I have. So the only thing remaining now is just to fix my zip, and I'll just do that off camera. I'll fix my zip. So this is the dress after fixing everything, after doing everything. This is the dress, and it looks really nice. So please like, share, subscribe and comment. I'll see you in my next video.